Welcome to Previews Reviews, coming to you from Stadium Comics, located in Shoppers World Mall in beautiful Brampton, Ontario. Here are your hosts, Kevin Hickey and Ricky Lima.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Previews Reviews, which takes a look at comic books coming into stores starting in September 2012. I'm Kevin Hickey.
And I am Ricky Lima.
And Ricky, please tell the people out there where this video is coming from.
The center of the universe, the heart of all things, the most precious gem in the Infinity Gauntlet. Brampton, Ontario, Canada.
That's right. And also it's coming from our hearts.
From our hearts.
Our hearts.
Well.
From our hearts right to you.
It's coming from a little lower for me. Whoa.
Previews is the magazine, of course, that you can order all kinds of pop culture merchandise out of. It's what most comic stores use to order their product selection. Mm-hmm. So definitely go and check it out at your local shop. Take a flip through and let them know what you'd like to see in your local shop. We're going to get right into it, Ricky. It's a busy day. Lots of things to cover. And we're going to start off with all of the Zero issues that DC Comics will be putting out in September 2012. We're going to focus on the new books. First up, we've got Talon #0. This is a new series featuring the Court of Owl's unstoppable killing machine. Meet Calvin Rose, the only Talon to ever escape the grasp of the Court of Owls. This former assassin just wants to live a normal life, but that's impossible, seeing as he's being hunted by his former masters. The Phantom Stranger #0. Learn what happened to the Phantom Stranger after the Free Comic Book Day story. Who has been sacrificed? Who is guilty? Who can save us? Who is the Phantom Stranger? Then we've got Sword of Sorcery #0. This new series featuring the long-awaited return of Amethyst, Amy Winston, leads a strange life on the road with her mother. She's about to learn why it's all been necessarily when she discovers she's the lost princess of Gem World and has powerful enemies hunting her. And then the last of the new issues is Team 7 #0. Threads of the entire DC Universe collide in this new series set in the early days of the New 52 from writer Justin Jordan from the strange talents of Luther Strode. As Superman emerges, so too does the world's countermeasures against him and his kind. Alright, so that's 4 new titles. What do you think?
The Talon book looks it looks a little weak. Like
really?
I thought it was going to be the Talon that we met in issue 10.
I initially thought the same thing.
But it's not.
And that would have been awesome.
Yeah, because it's Bruce's brother.
Well, spoilers for those of you out there who haven't read issue 10 of Batman. We haven't quite crossed the 1 month threshold between issues. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because that was issue 10. Issue 11 hasn't come out yet.
Sorry, everybody.
Alright, so spoilers. The Talon in that book ended up being Bruce's supposed brother. Now, what does this mean for that plot point that issue 0 of the Talon is not Bruce's brother? Is this something that we're just seeing for the issue 0 because it's looking at a time before the relaunch? Or is this person going to be the Talon character going forward? And is the guy in Batman issue 10, is he Bruce's brother after all?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of famous instances over the years where somebody has claimed to be a relative of Bruce. Most famously Bane, I would guess.
Really?
When, at one point he thought, Bane thought that he was Thomas Wayne's son as well, and then him and Batman teamed up for a little while. What? Yeah, you didn't know this?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
That is stupid.
Great stuff. But
was this after he broke his back?
Yeah, way after.
So
they made up. They made up, said, hey, we're bros. They teamed up for a little while.
That's
and
weird.
it was a big thing. But yeah, I despite all that, I still think Talon is going to be the best out of these 4 new books. Just because Scott Snyder's involved with the writing. I don't think he's doing the actual script, but he's doing some of the story writing and the plotting. And we've got Gilliam March doing art for it, who was the guy who's been working on Catwoman up until this point. He's gathered quite a fan base. Justin Jordan on Team 7. I don't know that Team 7's going to be a successful book. It sounds a lot like kind of what Blackhawks was supposed to be. And what like Men at War was supposed to be. Like, you know, policing the superheroes and cleaning up after them and that kind of thing. And the one thing that it does have going for it is that Justin Jordan is a pretty talented writer. His book, The Strange Talent of Luther Strode, was a really surprising read for me. I thought it was really good. It's if you're into violence in extreme forms in comics, the Strange Talent of Luther Strode is for you.
Good thing I am. Sword and Sorcery I thought looked cool. Sword of Sorcery, sorry.
Yeah, I figured you'd be into that, seeing as you're all into D&D and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that looks cool. And it has an interesting kind of story to it. You know,
Yeah.
There's not many female leads, but this one seems to have it. Her name's Amethyst, that's just cool.
Well, it's a definite attempt, I think, on the part of DC to target something specifically towards female readers, which they've been criticized for not doing a good enough a job with up until this point. It's also going to be written by Christy Marks, a female. Congratulations, DC, for bringing another female into the fold. Who has a very interesting history. She worked on a lot of television shows from the 1980s. And specifically, she created one called Gem and the Holograms.
Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Yeah, I used to watch it mornings before school growing up, and discovered who I was as a person while watching it. I always wished for a pair of magic earrings and stuff like that.
If there's a redub of the show on YouTube of a guy with like a really deep voice, like playing Gem. It's so funny. You guys should look it up. I'll see if I can find a link.
We played a drinking game once that for old '80s cartoons, and one of the cartoons was Gem. And we had to like take a drink every time somebody doesn't recognize Gem, even though she's like the exact same person with her alter ego, and when she's not Gem. We had to like take a drink every time she consulted with I think Synergy was the name of her computer system. I don't know.
That's amazing.
But anyway, so that's a look at some of the issue zeros coming your way in September.
Are these covers the actual covers? Or that's not the final cover.
Those are the actual covers, I believe. They want to take a little bit from the issue ones.
Yeah.
And, well, I guess these ones don't really have issue ones. So.
No, yeah, that's weird. Well, moving on, we have Doctor Who #1 from IDW. The Doctor's back! Exclamation point. Welcome to a new, exciting era for everyone's favorite Time Lord, as New York Times best-selling writer Andy Diggle pilots the TARDIS as the ongoing series architect. Joining him for the first arc is Eisner Award-winning artist Mark Buckingham, who will also provide covers for the series. Geronimo!
Nice.
Ah.
What do you think of this one?
To be honest, I couldn't care less. I mean, like, I understand Doctor Who's getting big and stuff, but, like, I think it's being really oversaturated now. It's like, whoa.
Do you think that the success of Doctor Who has a lot to do with the fact that there isn't a real solid sci-fi series around right now for people to watch? Like, the last 10 years or whatever, we had Battlestar Galactica that everybody was wildly into, which I still haven't watched.
Neither have I.
But it seems like there was this need for some sort of sci-fi content, and Doctor Who has kind of just stepped into that role.
It was just there, yeah.
It was there at the time. I don't know. I like Doctor Who though. I've been watching it. I've been catching up on the newer seasons, and I like it. I enjoy it. It's campy sometimes. Sometimes it's really cheesy, but that's some of the charm involved in it, and that's some of the things that I remember as a kid seeing in early Doctor Who shows. Just the overall cheesiness of the villains or the enemies in the show.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, can we chill out? It's like Star Wars. Like, just chill out with that stuff.
Star Wars is huge, man.
Star Wars is too much, man. Too much crap.
This is a relaunch of the Doctor Who franchise at IDW. They've been doing a lot of miniseries up until this point. They've tried an ongoing series a couple of times, but they never really seemed to gain any traction. So they're going to be going for that this time. And then putting Andy Diggle and Mark Buckingham on the series is certainly a way to get readers involved and hooked in right from the start. Mark Buckingham is amazing on Fables, and Andy Diggle's written some great stuff. He did The Losers. I think he did a run on Thunderbolts too, not too long ago. But he's a well-respected writer. They're definitely trying though to cash in on the success of Doctor Who in popular culture recently, and the success of the Doctor Who Star Trek The Next Generation crossover, which is
was that successful?
Popular. Yeah, very popular. Hard to get a hold of some of those issues.
Nice.
All right, next up we have from Grant Morrison and Derek Robertson, Happy issue 1. Meet Nick Sachs, a corrupt, intoxicated ex-cop turned hitman, adrift in the stinking twilight world of casual murder, soulless sex, eczema, and betrayal. With a hit gone wrong, a bullet in his side, the cops and the mob on his tail, and a monstrous child killer in a Santa suit on the loose, Nick and his world will be changed forever this Christmas by a tiny blue horse called Happy. That just sounds weird, eh?
Everything about that except the last sentence is so cliche and so done, but I think Grant Morrison can do it to the point where it seems original, right?
Right. Well, the preview pages for this that they've shown look very gritty, as is Derek Robertson's style, if you're familiar with him at all as an artist, and his work on The Boys, which I really liked. It definitely looks like it's a gritty, dirty book. It's laced with profanity, the preview pages that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like every second word is blacked out. It looks like you're reading a classified CIA document. But of course, when it gets printed, all those words will, be there on the page. It's a big score for Image Comics, though, getting Grant Morrison. He's, like him, love him or hate him, he's got a lot of detractors. He's got a lot of admirers. He's one of the biggest writers, if not the biggest writer in comics today. Mm-hmm. So it's a major score for Image to be able to say we have a book coming out by Grant Morrison. And that doesn't mean he's going to stop doing all of his work at DC. He's basically been one of the key architects in crafting the New 52 universe and what went on before it.
Or decrafting, if we know about the Superman stuff.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, which, by the way, Ricky, now that we have you on video here, and we're talking about that first arc in Superman and the news that came out about George Perez and how his hands were really tied when he was making that Superman story, and a lot of it in part due to Grant Morrison and his, reign over the character. Do you have anything you'd like to say to George Perez here today?
Well, I feel for him. I understand there's all these pressures and stuff.
You criticize him very heavily.
Yeah, but I feel a little vindicated because now he even knows that what he was writing was a little poopsies. So,
all right. So you feel your criticism still is warranted?
Yeah, and I feel that he kind of shares it.
You seem to get very personal with George Perez. almost like you attacked his skill personally.
I just said I could teach him a thing or two. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Grant Morrison has said about this book that it will be some of his most raw, most profane, unrestrained stuff that you've
That's
ever
saying
seen
a lot
from him.
for Grant Morrison. Whoa.
Yeah, man.
It's been crazy.
So, what do you think, Ricky? Happy?
I'm gonna pick it up for sure.
Pick it up? I want to see what the deal is with this blue horse.
It's probably like drugs or something.
Probably.
Most likely. Speaking of drugs, Planet of the Apes, Cataclysm #1. Acclaimed writers Corina Bechko and Gabriel Hardman start a new chapter of the Planet of the Apes saga, launching the fan-favorite franchise into its most exciting era yet. 8 years before astronaut George Taylor fell from the stars fell on the Planet of the Apes. Once the destroyer of human civilization, the Alpha Omega bomb of yore has slept silent in the dark side of the moon. One mad monk seeks to wake the beast, and all of ape society is at risk. It's a race against time as Dr. Zaius struggles to find an end to the madness that has engulfed all that he knows.
I hope that somewhere in the course of this comic, somebody shouts out, "Oh, help me, Dr. Zaius!"
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And then they break out in a song
Dr.
and
Zaius, Dr. Zaius. They need to make that a real musical.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, they've got very pop culture-y content on Broadway now. They've got the Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. They've got the Book of Mormon by the South Park creators. Let's make Planet of the Apes, the musical, a reality.
I hate all the apes I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
Exactly.
No, you'll never make a monkey.
Keep going.
No, you'll never make a monkey.
So Boom's at it again here.
Yeah.
All kinds of variant covers for this book. It's not a $1 book like they've been doing in the past, but they've got 37,000 variants for it.
Really?
One of the variants that they're offering is a cool Alex Ross sketch cover.
Yes.
Which is a CGC comic, so it's slabbed in plastic and graded at a 9.8. So that's kind of cool.
Could you explain why it's 9.8? Like, if it comes right off the presses, why isn't it a 10?
Well, what they do is anything that comes off the presses, usually, it's almost impossible to find a perfect book. It's just accepted that when it comes off the press that it's going to be near mint or something from a 9.6 to a 9.8. What Boom will do is submit a bunch of them to get graded, and all the 9.8s they'll send out to the people that got this. They'll probably pre-screen it for 9.8. So they'll send like 100 books, and then grade them all, and whatever comes back at a 9.8 they keep and send out to the stores. Whatever doesn't come back at a 9.8 just won't get graded. And then whatever comes back at a 9.9 or 10, Boom Studios will probably just keep. Maybe give them away to staff members or something. What's your exposure to the Planet of the Apes universe?
Yeah, I really started on the Tim Burton one.
Okay.
And then I watched the newest one that came out. And that's about it, really.
You haven't watched any of the older stuff?
No, not really, no.
Rob is like one of the biggest Planet of the Apes fans
Really?
on the planet. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be picking this up, being that it's a ongoing series for Planet of the Apes. And that's good to see. And I mentioned this before with Doctor Who. It's all well and good to see all these miniseries coming out for titles, but I'm a person who doesn't usually buy into miniseries a lot. I won't buy them. Maybe I'll pick up the trade later. But if it's not an ongoing series, sometimes it's like it doesn't have enough relevance to matter if it's not an ongoing thing. And if it's an ongoing series, it's more like, okay, they're going to commit this to canon. Like it's ongoing. It's actually going to, have some, it's actually going to hold sway when compared to all the other comics. I don't know. It's just how I feel. That's how I feel sometimes.
It's okay. You can feel how you want.
All right. Next up, Nemesis 2, issue number 1. Who is Nemesis? The first person to take on the name was an electronics billionaire using his fortune to prey on ordinary people from behind a mask. Now, after his death, spoiler alert, a new predator will emerge, and this time, readers get a peek behind the curtain for an unflinching look at how it all came to be. From the creative team behind Marvel's Civil War event, Mark Millar and Steve McNiven.
Ooh.
Nemesis 2, number 1.
What do you think the tagline is going to be?
I'll tell you what the advertising for this should say. It should say, and if I was a marketing guy at working with Mark Millar, this is what I would put out there. How do you top an incestual womb bomb? Nemesis 2 will show you how.
Oh,
that's your whole premise.
That's pressure.
Yeah,
that's
right?
Pressure. Mark,
because how do you top that?
You really, you can't.
Do you think he's going to try to in this?
It would be twins.
No, but that's more the same thing.
That's true. Explosive tumor. Perhaps.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what tops that. I think he took it to the limit. It's like, yeah, we made your son and daughter. We made your daughter pregnant by your son, and if you try to abort the fetus, it's going to blow up her womb. How do you? How do you top that?
You can't.
No. Is Nemesis 2 even necessary at this point?
Was any of it necessary? It just should have been a mini-series of just that.
I actually liked Nemesis 1 for all its over-the-topness and way out there violence and wacky situations. I thought it was a good read. If you can just sit back and read it and know that it's going to be just way over the top, then you can really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to Mark Millar recreating that experience and possibly improving upon it.
Do you know how Nemesis died, or is it just kind of...
In the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I read it.
Is it spectacular?
His death isn't really spectacular, but it turns out that... the whole thing that Nemesis is rich people pay for the opportunity to be Nemesis.
Oh.
And it's like almost like them taking a vacation.
Nice.
Like an adventure vacation. I'm going to be a dastardly supervillain.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
and then they use all of their resources to kind of have as much fun with it as they can.
Mark Miller, why do you always got to write cool stuff, man?
Well, and it's interesting because he says it's like a whole play on, the person who decides to become Nemesis is truly the 1%. much like in the Victorian age where you had a real fear of the aristocracy, nowadays people who are, have-nots or part of the 99% have a real fear for those that are in complete financial control of the affairs of the world. And it's just playing on that fear.
That's cool, man.
It's deep.
I might pick up the trade now.
Yeah.
Speaking of trades, segue alert, you like that, eh? Avengers X-Men oversized hardcover. The Avengers and the X-Men, the two most popular superhero teams in history, go to war. This landmark pop culture event brings together Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Magneto, and more in the story that changes them forever. Plus, for the first time ever in print, Marvel's groundbreaking Infinite Comics are collected, revealing key events through the eyes of Marvel's major players. It's the Marvel's biggest event ever, but will the Avengers or the X-Men emerge triumphant? So this is coming out in September?
Sorry, it's not coming out in September. It's coming out in November. It's advanced solicited.
Okay.
But the last 2 issues of AVX come out in September. But this is your opportunity now to order this oversized hardcover. It's going to be a very limited run, and it's collecting all of Avengers vs. X-Men, all 12 issues, and the 0 issue, all in one place. It's collecting some of the Infinity comics, which up until now are online only. It's collecting all of AVX Versus 1 through 6, and also some material from Point One, which came out earlier in the year. It's $75 though.
Whoa!
$75, but I guess when you add it all up and you figure out what you're getting in there, it is kind of worth it if you didn't pick up the single issues.
But I mean, $75. Whoa, man! But this comes out in November. That's still like really close to like the end of the run, right?
I think a part of it might be that whatever happens in Avengers versus X-Men is going to have, huge implications in the history of the Marvel Universe. And they just announced this whole Marvel Now relaunch that's going to happen after Avengers vs. X-Men, and I'm sure that people who are jumping on board for all those new #1 issues that are going to start hitting from October right through February. There'll be a new issue 1 almost every week coming to stores. They're going to want to know what happened beforehand.
Yeah.
And if Avengers vs. X-Men is the lead into that, then it makes perfect sense for them to put out an oversized, hardcover edition containing all that, all in one volume, right in the midst of all that going on, right?
Yeah, I think if they wanted to bring in non-comic readers to catch them up, I think they should have released something smaller and cheaper so that people aren't like, holy crap, $75. Comics are so expensive, and clearly
that's true. That's a good point.
They're not that expensive.
And we're just hypothesizing that might be a reason why it's coming out so quickly, right on the heels of Avengers vs. X-Men. Well, what do you think of Avengers vs. X-Men so far?
So far, it's pretty cool. I like where it's going now. But I have a feeling that it's going to be a real rush job at the end because so much is happening, and there's only 5 issues left?
Yeah, Round 7 came out the week that we're filming this, and we've both read that. I really like Marvel events when they're well done, and this one for me so far has been well done. And I'm hoping that they don't do a rush ending on it like they did with Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was this great event where they'd been planting all these seeds for it for years before the event actually started, and then the event got underway and it was building and building and building, and then everything got resolved in the final issue. There was like a big battle, and it just seemed like really rushed.
That's lame.
And hopefully that doesn't happen with Avengers vs. X-Men. It shouldn't happen, given that they had 12 issues to come up with a story and then resolve it.
But stuff went crazy in like the 6th issue, and you're like, oh,
it was nuts, yeah.
Well, whatever.
Whatevs. Whatevs. Some honorable mentions for this episode. As we said, we've got the final 2 issues of Avengers X-Men coming out in September, leading into the Marvel Now relaunch. Any thoughts on the Marvel Now relaunch?
It's weird that it's still within continuity. That's weird.
Yeah, it's they want to stress that it is not a reboot, that continuities aren't starting over, that they're basically updating some costumes, bringing in some new creative teams to work on books, putting out new titles.
I think that's just going to make things too messy.
I hope not.
I think so. Especially for the continuity nerds, they're probably going to freak out.
And Jean Grey's coming back. That's a big thing that they're pushing. Jean Grey's coming back, but not being reincarnated or anything like that. they're pulling her out of the past, it looks like. So it's going to be like a younger version of Jean Grey. So
why?
So she can learn all about her powers all over again and
my God.
become the Phoenix once again. Who knows? We've also got the Walking Dead Volume 8 hardcover. For those of you who are reading Walking Dead in hardcovers, that comes out in September. A lot of people have been asking when that's coming out. We've got the second Walking Dead novel, which is called Road to Woodbury, which talks all about the governor before he got to Woodbury and before he became the governor.
I didn't even know there's novels. Those are just like prose novels?
Yeah. The first one was actually called The Governor, and it was all about
was
the
it
governor.
The Governor with an A?
No, it should have been. And then another book I want to talk about. It's it's a smaller press book, but it features the work of many indie talents from around the Greater Toronto area. It's called Horror in the West, and you can find that on page 234 of the previews book. It looks like it's going to be a great horror anthology that takes place during the time of the Wild West, and we encourage everybody out there to take a look at it and pick it up. Ask your shop to order it in. And let's help out some of the talent that
it looks super cool.
Are friends of ours.
No, dude,
but it does look super cool.
It looks amazing.
They had an Indiegogo campaign for it, and I put in some money for it. Nice. So I can't wait to see it. All right, everybody, that is it for this installment for Previews Reviews. Don't forget to check out all the other cool shows on our channel, and tune in next time when we take a look at Collectables coming into stores starting in September 2012. Take care, everyone, and stay cray, YouTube.